Hey, what's up, you guys? I got a new game here from EA that is called Unravel. Um, got it as a demo from EA Access. This is my first playthrough. Gonna give it a go, see what happens. First thing, let me say that this game looks absolutely amazing. Um, I've never looked up anything about this game, didn't know anything about it. I kind of knew that you were a ball of yarn or something like that. All right, this game is a side scroller, um, which is actually getting to be more and more popular. I know whenever I was growing up, that was pretty much the thing we had back then was side scrolling games, but now they're tending to be more mainstream. Um, this is I would consider it a side scrolling platformer. The way you kind of go up and down on the levels. Um, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the music on this game is absolutely wonderful. It ties in with the game. It's played so well. I did do some editing to this video to try to keep it under 15 minutes. So there is some cutouts and everything on here of where I was just running around and didn't really know what to do. Um, but besides that, I mean, I actually enjoyed the game. I mean, I don't think it's really going to be a AAA title, but as far as just having something to sit down and do and play, I think it's pretty good. I mean, played a lot of garbage games before, and I think this one's going to be pretty nice. I probably will buy it just to finish playing it, because I did enjoy it. And then this is Yarny. This is the character you play as. Like I said, she just drops a ball of yarn and it turns into this guy. As you could already tell, the levels and platforms and everything, they really did a good job on this game. I'm really impressed by it. The mechanics work great. This is a photo album. Um, Later on, you'll see, probably in part 2 or part 3 of the video, that the levels that you play, you get memories, and the memories fill the photo album. Um, which is a pretty neat concept. Uh, I think I counted like 15, somewhere in between 11 to 15 levels. The demo is about an hour long. It took me about an hour to complete what I did complete. Um, and I enjoyed it. I have to say, I enjoyed it. A little bit of strategy involved here and there. And this is like a lasso whip kind of thing. Um, you use the right trigger and left trigger, A to jump. Um, Automatically grabs on the ledges. And then this is a neat little feature. So the yarn that you spin out, you could pull up. So if you fall off the side of something, which you'll see me do, I fall off the side of stuff all the time, have to climb back up. And this is how you get into the levels. Um, it's pictures. And I guess you remember the levels or something. I'm guessing. The first one's called Thistle and Weed. Each of these photos have a different way of starting out. This one kind of started out on the front porch, I guess it would be, and head off. The next one I played, I believe, is called The Sea, so it starts out a little bit different. Um, but the detail in this game is just amazing. Look at the plank boards that are just bowed and warped over time. I think that's really amazing. In the grass in the forefront and in the background, I mean, they really did an amazing job on the detail of this game. Um, the complexity of the butterflies and everything else, and then the wind moving the grass, and you run out of yarn, so you can only go a certain distance um, with the yarn attached until you have to find um, these balls of yarn like this to refill Yarny's yarn, if that makes sense. So what you do is he'll go up to it, he'll spin on it and refill his body, I guess is what you would call it. And Yarny's good to go now. So I mean, even though this is kind of like a tutorial, I still found it pretty amazing. I mean, it had me grip pretty well. See, here's the where you got to climb back up using the left trigger to pull your yarn back in. Um, a little bit of puzzle solving, I guess you would call it. Um, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this game. You know, of course, it fell down because I missed a jump. Um, Here's a good example of the detail they put in this game. Look how far you can see in the background, the mountains and the birds flying by and everything else. But then here's some lassoing that you got to do to swing back and forth. You have to do this a lot to get from area to area. It's pretty neat how they incorporate it. I had fun doing this. I was hoping that you could like spin so fast that you could just do like loop-de-loops, but I never got it to do it. I tried. And here's one of the memories, I guess you would call it, of a picture. So later on in part 2, you'll see whenever I get back to the photo album, that will be in the photo album as a picture. And you can climb up stuff. This is what this is telling you. You can climb up this bush here and get to a higher section of the level, and then you could lasso. And, I mean, it's pretty fun. And then you watch the apples. You'll see some apples start falling from the trees, and they have this little mechanic here where you could tie 2 spots together and make like a little trampoline kind of thing. I had a hard time with this because I kept holding X down and it would untie and tie it, untie and tie it, untie and tie it. I eventually got it though. But this is pretty neat. I thought this was pretty cool. And then look at the branches. I mean, a ball of yarn moving a branch, and bird houses. I think this is one of the spots where the apple falls out. See, there it go, untying and tying. Yeah, there's an apple right there. And then you do this and knock down some apples, which is pretty neat. But I think it's pretty cool that you climb an apple tree. That's and then look at the group of trees and the little pond in the background. Even though it's blurry, I mean, they did a really nice job putting in, you know, the layer of graphics. Yeah, they had a little hard time doing that. I mean, it's pretty enjoyable. It's really fun. There's another ball of yarn. They're randomly put all over the place. And here you're doing a little rappelling, which I thought was cool. You do this a lot, and I enjoy it. I like watching the yarn swing and everything else. I think that's a cool little element to the game. And then I guess save spots. I only had to restart one time, and it was right here. Actually, I edited most of it out to try to get it under 15 minutes. But yarn and water don't mix, and you're getting ready to see water up here. And this is some more and then the apple falls. So I mean, there's going to be some kind of puzzle solving that you have to do throughout the game. It's not too intensive like Resident Evil or anything like that, but I mean, it's fun enough to where, you know, and easy enough to where you can just get sucked in and just play. This is pretty neat. You gotta, it rips the water valve out. So you gotta ride an apple up. And well, I edited it out, but the water, if you get trapped in the water, you sink to the bottom, and I guess yarn dies. I guess yarn and water don't mix too well. I thought it was pretty neat. I mean, any game that you can see the water mechanics look like that is a nice game. You can judge a lot of games on what they do with water as far as the graphics go. Bird flying off. And this is getting into a little porch. They added all kinds of little elements in here and there. And I thought this was pretty neat. They put a chair out and, you know, rip the lever on it, be able to get to another section. And I thought this was pretty neat too. You almost have to watch out and think methodically about what you're going to do as far as getting to the ground and everything. Because you see right here that I jumped over both of them, which causes the yarn to wrap around it. And you can't get to the ground because you'll run out of yarn, because you can see Yarny's body's already almost unwound. And this is me ringing the bell back and forth. I thought that was pretty neat. You'll see right here that there's a ball of yarn that I could refill myself with, but since I got the yarn wrapped around, I can't quite reach it. So what you have to do is you have to climb all the way back up and come back around. So that's one thing whenever you play this game you got to keep in mind. And I'm sure you'll get to a point somewhere where you'll have to do that just to be able to reach something, wrap the yarn around something. Matter of fact, there's a door that you get to on the second stage that you have to wrap the yarn around a pole to get the door open. I got it recorded. It's pretty nice. I thought that was pretty cool. Climbing some flowers here. And then if you look at the bottom of the flowers, there was a button down there behind these whatever they're called, flowers. I can't remember what they're called, but apparently throughout the level they got these hidden buttons. I guess you collect them all, because at the end of each memory of the picture that you do, you find a button and it goes on the front of the I thought this was really cool, pulling the little trike, but you find the button and put it on the front of the memory book on the photo album, and which I thought was pretty neat. But this right here, I thought this is what pretty much had me hooked whenever you're surfing on top of the trike going downhill. I thought that was really cool. Just smashing the pot and breaking the front wheel off. And back to doing some climbing on some trees now. And this is a little bit of lassoing to get up higher, which is pretty fun. You can see I wouldn't say it takes a whole lot of skill. It just takes timing. But I mean, it's pretty fun. See, I failed right there. That was an epic fail. Probably should have edited that out. But this is it's pretty neat. I think my fiance will enjoy this game probably a lot more than I will, but I have to say I did enjoy it from what little bit I played of it. I enjoyed it enough that I'm gonna buy it. And you see up here that little flashing light, that's another memory in the treehouse. And I guess he collects them because you'll see it go to his hand. That's another ball of yarn, and whenever it's spinning like that, it's a save point, I guess you would call it, with the little lights around it. Oh yeah, this is the you'll find this is just like the apple. Whenever you had to carry the apple over to the water, you get to build your little trampoline bridge, and then carry your little baby bee over there. B for Bubbinator. Thanks for watching. Little sand pit. Must have been the babies that was in the picture or something or other. I don't really know. That's the only thing I don't. I guess that's supposed to be a porcupine. But it really didn't give you no backstory. I mean, you know nothing about the old woman. There's nothing about how this yarn come to be. It's the only thing I would like to know, a little bit of a backstory. Alright, so we're coming on to the end of the first part of this video, and we'll pick it back up in the second part.